You know what it is. I'm Mike D.
Brother LT.
And we are
Black N Yerrow.
We back at it again. We're going to do a little different. Got a little Q&A going on. Let's go.
Let's roll.
All right. So the question is, LT, music.
Ooh.
Give me an album, a song, a line, whatever, in your past that just hit so hard today that you just can't let go of, that you got to keep listening to today.
I would tell you a line from
Don't hope it ain't the same as mine.
It ain't. A line from Tupac.
Who?
Tupac.
Okay.
Back in elementary, I grew up amongst a dying breed. I love that line.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you grow up amongst a dying breed?
Yeah. That was later in my life. But when that hit, there's a lot of songs I love, but there's only one artist that I felt like really encapsulated how I was as a young man growing up and where I was going as an older man, as past the teenage years in my 20s. I don't know. I mean, he has a lot of songs. Like, I will tell you, like, when I die, I told my kids this.
You told me the same thing.
Yeah. I want the song Life Goes On by Pac.
So Pac had that much meaning.
Well, because I was old enough to understand.
Right.
So I could reflect, just kind of deep dive into the stuff that he would say. Now, did I have other songs that I love? I listen to all genres of music. Mm-hmm. I've learned country that I love a lot of songs of country. I listen to my Vietnamese music. I listen to pop.
Little Phil Collins.
Yes, Phil. I mean, it's just the 80s, the 70s, disco, R&B. I mean, I still remember when Jodeci first hit. It was hell. I remember if you lived in Houston, 97.9 came out in 92 to Houston right around the early 92, 91. And I still remember the morning show with Scorpio. And it was the type of music
way back.
We were as kids listening to. 102 Magic never really played it. And what's crazy was a lot of the Asian kids that I hung out with in my little group of friends, we were listening to rap. We were listening to NWA, the Ghetto Boys and all that, before it went mainstream, meaning that we would get cassettes, and listen to it. And
well, I think at that time, when you were talking about like that, a lot of the music that we found so interesting, especially when you talk about rap and hip hop, is most of that stuff was underground. It's not a lot of that stuff.
Well, yeah, even that. But
radio.
I was listening to Metallica too. When Metallica was still underground.
Yeah.
I was listening to a lot of hardcore heavy metal. I was listening to Dio. I was listening to. I mean, you don't know that, right? But what I'm saying
I don't know why Whitesnake.
I mean, Whitesnake was like battleless. But what I'm saying was, here's the dynamic. I love all genres of music. But when it came to a song or when it came to an artist that moved me, even now in being 51, I still listen to Pac religiously because it lets me reminisce and understand. Yes, my favorite artist is Pac.
I will say this, even though you didn't ask me, it's okay, I'll do it myself.
Here,
no, it doesn't matter. No.
Let me ask you.
No, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. So at any rate, guys, I ain't worried about him. That's how he does me all the time.
But let me ask you, what's your favorite
artist?
Nah, I don't really care.
Yeah, he doesn't see. Yeah, exactly. So I will tell you this, man. You know what? There's so many.
I assume he likes Miley Cyrus. Look at him.
He is a wrecking ball.
His favorite song is "Wrecking Ball."
He is a wrecking ball. I will tell you this. I don't necessarily
actually,
have
his favorite song is "Party in the USA."
Are you going to actually let me?
Oh yeah, go ahead. Let me be serious.
Yeah. No. At any rate, I will say this. I don't know if I have a favorite. I will tell you the artist that influenced me. Now, Pac is definitely one. Off his album "Tupacalypse Now," I don't think there was one song that was on that album that didn't hit and didn't impact me. Of course, that was in the early 90s. And it was also a time when, I had my Malcolm X medallion and we were into Public Enemy and things like that. And Tupacalypse Out Now came out, and yeah, it was just, Soldier Like Me and so forth and so on was just hitting so hard. But I will also tell you that the Isley Brothers, man,
Ooh,
Maze,
Mr. Big.
Maze featuring Frankie Beverly, Depends on what era it was. Sometimes it was Frankie Beverly featuring Maze. Sometimes it was Maze featuring
So what
Frankie
is your
Beverly.
go-to? Like if you can listen to somebody, for me, I looked at the question of if you can listen to somebody every day, who would that artist be? For me, what I said was Tupac. Now, if there's different days, I can listen to all that. I love me some Isleys.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's so much music out there that's so good. Hell, I like the stuff now. I love The Weeknd. I love
Drake's AI album is gonna be the shit.
but even Drake.
Yeah, Drake, yeah.
It's but what I'm saying
The
is,
Baby. I for some reason that's my dude. The Baby and Lil Baby.
I made fun of him because I feel like you too old to be listening to him.
I don't know. The Baby just go hard. It is what it is. But I mean, again, like I said,
Is there music as an older cat?
Take it back a little.
Is there music as an older cat you should listen to?
I think you listen to what you like. Period. I don't think there's a category where say, well, no, I'm not supposed to like this song or I'm not supposed to like this music. If you like it, you like it. I listen. Perfect example. And my genres are so vast. I will tell you, for all the ladies here in Victoria, Texas, Morgan Wallen, you know who he is. If you like Morgan Wallen, put it down in the comments. Put a 1 down in the comments. If you don't, put a 2. I will tell you, and that's country, since you don't know.
I know. I have no idea. I just found out, right
now, yeah. But I will tell you that Marvin Gaye.
I thought it was a local country artist here.
No, so much more than that. Marvin Gaye, Al Green.
Oh, Al. Can I tell you a quick story? Mason, when he was
you made Al Green in the barbershop.
When my youngest son was 2 years old, so he grew up in the suburbs. They asked him who his favorite artist was, and he wrote down Al Green. Now this is an Asian kid in 2nd grade.
Al Grits and Greens.
His teacher said, who is this? This is not even a real artist. And he's like, you don't know who Al Green is?
Okay, so she's dumb.
He literally asked that, right? And she's like, she had to look it up and found out who Al Green was. Now, the 2nd grade teacher, she's a young person at that time, right? Didn't know. And she's like, well, what's your favorite song? It's like Love and Happiness. Like, how do you even know who this is? Well, my dad listens to him all the time. And so, like, my kids grew up listening to rap because that's all I listen to, right? For me, I will tell you, influence-wise, Tupac. But my memories of being younger before then, when Tupac would hit the scene, was new wave, right? And for Asian kids, we used to listen to so a lot of mainstream new wave hit back in the 80s. And we listened to that, like Depeche Mode and New Order and stuff, but we also listened to stuff from Europe, right? So the Vietnamese kids, we were listening to stuff that was not on radio. So basically it was underground in America. Like we had friends in California and they would get the records first, or friends from other countries, from Germany, and they would send us the albums and it would filter all the way down to us as young kids. And we were listening to groups that people never heard of outside of the Vietnamese community.
Okay, so
like Modern Talking, Sandra.
I'm gonna throw out some names, and you tell me whether you recognize them or not. Thomas Dolby.
No.
Blinded me with science.
Oh, well, yeah, now I know.
Right. Talking Heads.
Yes.
Because that was like the beginning of MTV era.
But that was also American New Wave. What I'm talking about is, so like Modern Talking was the #1 group in Germany back in '83.
Exactly.
and nobody in America actually listened to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so we were listening to this underground group called Joy. We were listening to,
No.
of course, nobody in America would know except for the little. If you were in Europe, you knew them, right? But in America, it got no airplay,
Right.
because they were big in Europe. We were listening to groups from Russia, and it was called, in Italy, it was called Italian disco. Groups from Germany, stuff like that would come to America, and we would listen to them. And that's how I grew up listening to them. That's how all the little Vietnamese kids my age grew up listening to. In fact, there's a concert coming up in June where Joy, that group's they're probably in their 60s, 70s right now. They are coming to America in a small venue that I already told my wife we are going, because I knew all their songs.
I won't be there.
No, you won't. But people like us also love OMD or The Cure, or
The Cure.
stuff like that.
Familiar with that name?
Because that all intermixed. But then we also have, our underground stuff, what we consider underground, that got no airplay. And we would have cassettes that was, back in the day, you had to copy the cassettes over. And you would listen to those mixes of oh my gosh, it was this Savage. There's this one song that every Vietnamese kid that's in their late 40s or maybe mid 40s, early 50s knew, and it was called I Like Chopin. And I don't know who the hell the artist is. I think the artist is called Gazebo. But stuff like that, if I told that, if you're listening to this podcast and you're not a Vietnamese kid from that, you're not going to know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah, I have no
you're
idea
totally
what you're doing.
confused.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
But that's the type of stuff. But I think every kid has that.
Okay. So, next question. Okay, so the next question is cigars.
Ooh.
Alcohol.
Ooh.
What are you into now, and how has it changed over the years?
My still go-to cigar, I think Fuente. I know Fuente. I've been smoking for quite a long time. For me, it's for the memories that I had and the flavor, the perfect size. It's the Double Chateau Sun-Grown Fuente. It's a 49 gauge, 6.5 inch.
So this is okay. Oh, damn near a cigarillo.
No, 49 gauge. It's almost 50.
Okay.
It's almost 50.
All right.
Fuente makes phenomenal. Their Presidente, their Hemingways. I don't think my flavor has changed through the years as far as cigars. I've always liked what I liked. I like the bolder smoke. I don't like Connecticut wraps. I like medium to full body.
I'm with you there.
I like anything within. I smoke Robustos for the time, and a Robusto is, I would say, 5-inch, 50 gauge. That's right around the Robusto. I will tell you that cigars has been a big part of my life through the years, and my tastes haven't changed. I still love the medium full to the full bodied. I don't like cigarillos. I don't like. I like anything above 49 gauge, which is the circumference of the cigar, and the length to be always above 5 inches.
Okay.
I don't like anything above 7.
Too much cigar?
Too much. But yes. And no, Connecticut smokes, or the lighter smokes, that I call them breakfast. Because you can smoke 2 at a time and still be okay. What about you?
I will tell you this. I'm still fairly young, if you will, in my aficionado of cigars. Am I saying that right? It sounded really intelligent.
It did. It sounded good.
It sounded good, at least.
It sounded good.
But I will say this. Medium to full, mostly full. I love my Epicairos.
I like how you roll that R.
I'm trying. I'm working on it.
I don't even know if that's pronounced correctly.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds
I call
right.
it Carrillo, but hey, that could be my southern accent.
Yeah, Cairo. And then...
Did you learn that?
I used to be Mexican.
I hope you had.
Yes. Yes, most of my children are of Mexican descent.
Oh, I didn't say nothing.
I will say that my father's La Bajou is an excellent
Excellent
cigar.
cigar.
I love that cigar. Actually, all of my fathers. I tell you what, if money was not an object, my humidor would be filled with
My
my
father.
father's EPs,
Olivia's.
Olivas.
Oh, it's not Olivia. It's Olivia.
It's Oliva.
How you say it?
Oliva. Oh, there's no IA. It's just Oliva.
Yeah.
Oliva.
Funny enough, we share 2 humidors, and I don't have any Fuentes except 1 or 2 sticks
Yeah.
because that's how much I have them in reserve. Meaning that I only smoke them in certain times, and I feel like when I do, it's always a treat. If that makes sense.
I will say this. Thank you, cousin Stu, for your contribution to the humidor. We're not gonna say what they are, but they're good. They are good.
Shout out.
They are very good, cousin Stu. I will say that, like I said, EPs, my father's, and Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah, they too strong.
It's a very bold smoke. It's a very comfortable smoke.
Well, it
for
sounds
me.
like we're reviewing cigars. I was a cigarette smoker for years,
As I.
and I used to smoke 2 packs a day and still smoke cigars. I've quit smoking 10, 12 years ago, and I mainly just smoke cigars now.
3 for me. I quit 3 years ago, and yeah, I smoked
2 packs a day
at least.
for me and you back then.
Yeah, back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't let us start drinking.
Yeah,
And
it was over.
Since we're talking about drinks, go ahead.
Favorite beverage?
Oh wow, as far
Favorite beer? Because there's a big controversy right now.
Okay, so favorite beer. Back in the day, it used to be Bud Light. That was my go-to drink was Bud Light. Now, if you take it back to like the 80s, then we're talking about some malt liquor, some St. Ides, some Mickey's Big Mouth. So, but we're not talking about that right now. But as far as beer, you know what? Probably Stella Artois.
Stella would be my favorite now.
Stella
My
Artois.
favorite back in the day when I was growing up would be
The Crooked Letter.
the who?
The Crooked Letter.
Budweiser. Which
Oh,
would make you
God.
doo-doo. Like you can't run to the toilet fast enough drinking that. But so I graduated from Budweiser to Miller Lite because that's all the fools was drinking at the pool hall.
Miller Genuine Draft.
No, not drinking that.
No, I'm talking about me. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about
And
me.
then we went from Bud Light. I didn't drink Bud Light until I came down here.
Oh wow.
Never drank it. Didn't understand it. Never saw it. If you asked me, I would never drink it. Then I only drink Miller Lite, and I would drink it on ice because that's the Asian thing to do, and that's how I grew up drinking, just on ice. And I graduated. I started drinking Bud Light because of my brother-in-law who drinks Bud Light, and I just drank Bud Light because he drank Bud Light.
So weird.
He's a lover of Bud Light, and he knows who he is if he's watching this. And for years, I would drink Bud Light because of his ass, because then I started just liking Bud Light. Now, we didn't change from Bud Light because of whatever that's going on in the world. I could care less about stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've been drinking Stella Artois for the last 8-9 years, roughly.
I tell you,
8-9 years, and it was
yeah.
hard to get. Back then, Stella
Yeah, it was
Artois
very
was
hard to
really
get,
hard
yeah,
to get.
yeah.
You couldn't find it anywhere. It was more of a treat, and then we would drink Heineken because it tastes like Stella. And the reason
closest
why
thing to it.
me and him drink Stella now is because it's easier to get.
It's easier to get.
You can go to the store now. Back then, you couldn't go to a grocery store and find Stella.
Quick story.
I don't like IPAs, by the way, because they're too
Quick
sweet.
story. And of course, you guys don't know, but listen to us. We at one point in time we lived together. We were roommates and so forth and so on. And remember the refrigerator?
Yes,
And there was Red Stripe.
Red Stripe. I remember that.
I love Red Stripe. I do. Can't find it anymore in Victoria, Texas. I can't find it. Red Stripe was one of my favorite beers. Of course, we always keep the Bud Light. We keep the Heineken. We keep
Nobody drank Bud Light from what I remember. I never touched it.
I kept, but that's because we had Heinekens and we
Yeah,
had
yeah,
everything
we
else.
drank. I drank that stuff.
The Bud Lights were left for.
By the way, leave your comments and tell us what you like and
Yeah.
opinions why
Put
about
comments down
cigars.
below.
Even though
What's your favorite beer? What's your favorite?
I've been smoking cigars for a long ass time. I still really don't really know that much
I don't know shit.
because I never tried to learn about why and how. I just knew cigars I like, and I've been smoking about 30 years.
We like them.
That's it. I think you keep it simple.
Now,
You pick it up, you like it or you don't like it.
that's it. Now, let's get off of beer and let's talk about alcohol.
Oh.
Aunt Lisa, he doesn't drink anymore.
My wife, my wife don't watch it. So.
I will tell you this. My drink of choice now is tequila.
Tequila's phenomenal.
Now, I'm not talking about the Jose Cuervos. Jose's never been a friend of mine. What's the other? Don Julio is not necessarily a friend of mine, and if you guys could see the shelf, and maybe we may show you the shelf later, we have some excellent, I would venture to say, tequilas. Without advertising,
there's some good stuff on there.
So tequila is, and I would say probably the Reposado and the Cristalano are probably my favorite aged tequilas.
So
Cristalano and the Reposado.
I will say.
Are you more of a añejo or extra añejo?
Yeah, no, they're all
Or maybe
good.
in the Blanco.
But my first love, and I'm, of course, weirdly being Asians, and we would go to weddings, and at weddings we always had cognac.
Cognac is, yeah.
There was a period of time where I drank cognac all the time. Is that not right, producer? You go to a wedding, you're going to drink some Remy.
When we go to the basketball court, we're drinking Remy.
So it's about Remy. It's about Cavassier.
Cavassier.
That's how I learned how to drink hard liquor.
Pass the Cavassier.
But then I became a Scotch guy.
Scotch is an acquired taste. We're going to call it that. We're going to call it acquired taste.
I love Scotch.
Favorite Scotch? Go
Go-to
to
would be Johnny Walker Black.
Johnny Walker Black. What about the double black?
The reason why is you can find Johnny Walker Black anywhere. The blend, Johnny Walker is a blend. I've had the blue. I've had a lot. I would say for the money and the flavor would be a Macallan 15.
You know, you say Macallan 15, and I know we've had the Johnny, we've had Macallan.
We've had a lot.
We had the Glenlivet, we've had the Glenfiddich, we've had the Glenmorangie.
Yes, we had a lot. A lot of Glens.
We've had a lot. We've had a lot of
We
the
had
Glens.
a lot.
I will say that I have to agree. Even over the 18, I've never had the 21, but the Macallan 15
For the money.
And for
The
everything
aroma.
that it is, that is an excellent Scotch. It's an excellent Scotch.
So if you've never drank Scotch and you want to go impress somebody,
Don't
get
do
a
it.
Macallan 15.
Don't do it. Don't. It's expensive.
If you want
and
to start drinking a tequila that is within the money,
Campo Azul.
Campo
Azul. $25.
$25. It is worth the money.
$25. Some of the best tequila. It's an extra añejo, as a matter of fact.
The G4 is good for the price point, but there's a lot. There's a lot out there. It's up to your palate.
If you want to go a little bit more expensive, I love Comos, the Cristalano.
See, now you're showing off.
No, I just love that, bro. It's just really good. It's really, really, really good.
It is. There's a lot of really
There's
good
a
stuff.
lot of really good tequila. But don't be fooled. Don't be fooled.
With that, though, we are. Peace.